Those mountains straight ahead are Tetons. I'm in Wyoming this weekend. I'll be honest, this year, between my fitness not being where I want it to be and travel not being how I'd like it to be, I've not really planned a lot of trips. I've just instead let trips happen to me. Emily has a friend from high school who had a wedding here on this beautiful ranch yesterday. And when I knew I was coming here, of course, I bring the bike, because, you know, it's me. And then I asked a buddy, my old friend Jim Stemper, we were teammates on Kenda for 3 years, one of my favorite former teammates. While we were teammates, he was living in Jackson, Wyoming for a couple of years, which isn't known as like a big cycling hotspot. But remember, he loved it. So I messaged Jim and asked him to any recommendations on routes and KOMs, and he sent me all kinds of great stuff. He was so excited that I was coming here, and I guess I see why he liked it. Jackson is the airport you'd fly into for Yellowstone and for Teton National Parks. And the locals tell me Yellowstone's great. I've been to Yellowstone as a kid, like a little family trip. I remember it being incredible. Bison everywhere and all kinds of great nature, but you know, the geysers, Old Faithful and whatnot. But what I was told is Yellowstone is a little touristy, a little too famous for its own good. Teton is the way to go, and geographically it's like almost the same. So riding through Teton right now, I'm learning, for one thing, that in other places the leaves on the trees change color certain times of year. Well, also they have these things called leaves, and it's really pretty. The Jackson, it felt, I thought it was high altitude, kind of thought it was in the 5,000s, definitely in the mid to high 6s. So I'm going to be a bit winded for this trip. So that's a good sign, except I have seen bear warnings. There's no bear warnings on this one. Yellowstone there's a junction right here. Yellowstone is 25 miles that way. So that's how close we are as far as a Teton Yellowstone situation. Hey guys. How you doing? These guys, did you know that these guys behind me have won an award for outstanding in their field? Here's a historic marker, which I'll read to you while you watch this view, which is a Pierce Cunningham settled here in Jackson Hole. He opposed the expansion of Grand Teton and later became an advocate. Teamed up with a neighbor to write a petition signed by 97 Valley ranchers who agreed to sell their land to form a national recreation area. John D. Rockefeller's Snake River Land Company bought the land at other ranches and then donated 33,000 acres to expand the national park. There you go. Yes. To my right, that's the Snake River, which, if you're me, you're my age, you probably played some Oregon Trail as a child. The Snake River is the one you get all the way from the East Coast to Wyoming, and then you drown in that shit. If you play this game enough, you drown in that shit a bunch of times. The Snake River, get all the way there, and it's 9 feet deep. And when you get to that point, to cross a river, you can either pull it through with your oxen, or they give you the option of It's called caulking your wagon. You plug the holes in your wagon and you float across the river 9 feet. You can't do that to the oxen. So that's, I'm still bitter. What do you know? Right now, it does not look like a place to drown, but I'm guessing snow melts, different story. Still mad at the Snake River. All right, here on the side of the road, we have some moose. They're running. They're running. They're coming towards the tourists. Oh, look at those antlers, holy shit. All right, they're coming a little too close. There they are. You go, guys. So I was kind of on a highway before. I started Moran and I'm heading into Jackson now. Jim sent me a loop, but the wedding was out that way. So I was on this highway, which wasn't bad. There was a good shoulder. Now I'm halfway to Jackson and there is a bike path in the park, which kicks ass. Still this. By the way, I've ridden an hour and a half so far. That's what I've seen in an hour and a half. I've seen all the animals that this park is famous for, except so far for bison and bears. And I'm, no disrespect to bears, I'm cool not seeing a bear. So I don't know if you guys know this, I don't do a lot of research for these videos, but according to a friend who sent me this on Instagram, the literal translation of Grand Teton is large nipple. It's French, large nipple, which, I mean, I guess if it's cold out. Here's one for the outside is free, folks. It is not, it's 20 bucks. Totally worth it though, totally worth it. Here we have a couple gulls. Howdy, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Here we got a little fox in the field. Hey, buddy. This is, for real, one of the most incredible places I've ever ridden. No, I feel so alive. I feel like this is what we're on earth to do, is ride bikes around places like this. Got to do a quick apology to my coach, Frank at Fast Cat Coaching. He told me to do an endurance ride today, which means like try to keep the heart rate between 130, 140, 145. I stopped 1,000 times to take pictures. This was the worst endurance ride I've done in a long time. Over here we have Jenny Lake, kind of in the middle of the park. Okay, so I did see some bears. There are 4 of them. They crossed the street, but people were around like kind of taking pictures. I was not fast enough with the camera. And I was, you know, you want to have both hands on the bars in case a bear attacks you and you sprint away. So the total, I'm at mile 50 now of this ride. I've been riding like 2.5 hours. I have seen 2 moose, 1 fox, I believe 8 antelope, and 4 bears. So that's quite the haul for the sightseer in a short ride. The ride itself, like super flat. Anybody could do this. You could do this. You should come visit. We have here another exotic. No, that's just a Canada goose. I liked yesterday's ride so much, I brought Emily out to do kind of the same ride. She thinks she just saw a bison. I'm not saying you didn't see a bison. I think they travel in packs. A bison a ton. We're going a little farther north into the part that I didn't hit yesterday. So right now we're on Signal Mountain, which is kind of a mountain, but not one that I don't even think there's a Strava segment. I was trying to find it. So there's no reason to go hard unless there's a Strava segment. I'm just gonna ride it. It's funny, in LA, you ride back home, or San Francisco, like most, you know, major cities in the US, there's a Strava segment for like every inch of road in Los Angeles. Out here, the ride I did yesterday was like 12 segments for hours. So we've not seen any bison yet, but good news and bad news. This might be a first worldwide. Has anyone else ever had to get bison shit out of their speed plate cleat? I did step in it. So we're on the right track.
I'm standing way over here.
It's clean. I cleaned it. Some good switchbacks coming up. The E is for Emily because I forgot my Wahoo and had to borrow hers. Holy shit. All right, now back down the way we came. It is a one-way road.